Even the water bottle is sweating. How is it doing that? Let's find out. Water is in the air around us in the form of vapor. This means that water is in a gaseous state and its molecules are far apart. Warm air holds much more water molecules than cold air. When water vapor in the air comes into contact with something cool, like a glass full of ice-cold water, the water molecules slow down and get closer together, turning the water vapor gases back into liquid droplets. This process is called condensation.
And I saw this small child who was really thirsty, and he was looking at me drinking this water. Of course, I gave it to him, and I saw how grateful he was. So when I came back, I started thinking about it, how I could help those people. At first, I thought maybe we could just, buy a lot of bottles of water and get it sent to there. But then, some other day, I was sitting and drinking an iced tea outside, and I saw drops of water forming on the sides of the cup. And I realized, why do we need to have this water shipped all across the world if it's almost magically appears in front of me on the sides of this glass? So then I started doing the research.
And of course there are real clouds in the sky almost every day. How do they form? Well, wherever you have water, whether it be in the sea or in rivers and lakes or damp earth, and where heat from the sun hits that water, you get evaporation. Warm, moist air rises and under certain conditions forms clouds. What are those conditions? Well, you're getting an illustration of it right here with the kettle. The kettle is boiling away, and above the spout there's an invisible region there that contains water vapor. You can't see water vapor, it's absolutely invisible. But as you look higher, you do see something. You see a cloud forming above the kettle, because some of that invisible water vapor has turned back into thousands, millions of tiny little droplets of water.
And then I found this really interesting creature. It's a bug that lives in the Namib Desert, one of the driest areas in the world. And the only way this bug is able to survive, every morning when it's cold, it gets to it finds the highest point it can find in the desert and stands on its head. The water from the dew condenses on its back. It slides directly to its mouth. It's one of the many great inventions that were inspired by nature. So I started doing research and looking up at how I can manufacture a way of doing this on a large scale.
What causes the water vapor to change back into droplets of water? Several things. One of them is a low temperature, and the studio air is much lower temperature than down around the kettle. And if I take this mirror, you'll see the effect even more dramatically. I'll hold it up here above the kettle, and if you look into the mirror, you may be able to see the kettle. There it is. It's fairly clear, but before long, it starts to fog up, because of course what's happening is the same as happens in the bathroom in the morning. You're getting a fog, a mist, or a cloud forming on the mirror. When that happens, you can't see yourself in the mirror. And that's happening because the mirror is cold. You've got a cold surface there, and so water droplets are forming on it.
Love is life and life is living. Living is love and love is giving. When we live for love, it gives life meaning. When we live to give love, there's no greater feeling. This feeling of kindness and love's inside us. Nobody can sell this or try to buy this, cause love is priceless and it guides us, lifts us up and ignites us. Love can bind us and remind us. Love has no limit cause love is timeless. Hate and fear will try to blind us, but love unites us. Nobody can fight this cause love is righteous, and it might just save the whole world from this global crisis. Just throw your hands up if you know what the time is. Open up your heart and let it shine the brightest. Give love, give your love away. Give love, don't be afraid. Give love, give your love away now. Give love, it'll be okay. Give love, give your love away. Give love, give your love away. Give love, give your love away now. Give love, give your love away.
A long time ago, we have developed technology like this. This is called the dew point. The dew point was discovered recently, but it's more than 2,000 years old. And with this, all they did is excavating the ground, creating a layer for insulating it, and during the night, this insulated layer radiates the energy and the heat to the sky and produce water by condensation. And after so long, some of them, they're still working, they serve, and also they're beautifully integrated with the landscape.
And together with Engineers Without Borders, I was able to build my device, and it's been successfully working in a couple of the regions such as El Salvador and Mexico. So let me explain how it works. I know it might sound complicated and magical. How are you making water out of air, or how is it even possible? So basically, air around us always contains some amount of water vapors. Ability of air to hold this water mostly depends on the temperature. So if the temperature drops, the air loses its ability to hold water, and this water condenses either as a fog or as a dew. So the only thing to get water out of air is we need to just cool it down.
Another example can be in my country, in Italy, we have these stone buildings, and we didn't know very well for what they were built for. Today, we are understanding some of them, they are actually designed to collect water, like water wells. In fact, the winds passing through the stones enter in this environment, in this room, which is cooler, and in contact with the cooler stones, it delivers by condensation water that is collected inside.
As you've probably heard, Australia is in the middle of what's being described as one of the worst droughts in recorded history.
Yeah, it's shocking out there. It's very dry.
Pretty desperate, it's just dirt and that, really.
These kids are from country New South Wales, where the drought is having a huge impact on many families like theirs. And they've come together for a special forum run by UNICEF for young people in drought-affected parts of the state. Around 97% of New South Wales is in drought at the moment. This map shows where the rain has been below average in the past 9 months. The dark red shows where it's the lowest on record. As you can imagine, that's been tough for farmers who are having trouble growing crops and feeding stock.
Hello, I'm Mark Cowling, and welcome to Fodder Solutions. Hydroponically grown barley sprouts are the most nutritious livestock food source on the planet. We'd like to take you on a short tour to explain the Fodder Solutions difference and why you might consider a Fodder Solutions system for your farm. Fodder Solutions is the global leader in hydroponically grown barley sprouting technology. Now, since its humble beginnings back in 2006, the company's developed a suite of patented solutions servicing hobby farmers to large commercial operations. Self-sufficient farming is an attractive proposition in times of drought and high feed costs. Fodder Solutions is the ultimate feeding system to provide quality food security regardless of weather, water availability, and crop conditions.
I've seen a lot of farmers lose everything to this drought.
We want to survive in agriculture, but it's not viable in our area anymore.
It's not just New South Wales that's being affected. There are big areas of other states that are in drought. Some towns are literally running out of water. The dryness also contributed to the terrible bushfires we've seen recently in parts of New South Wales and Queensland. The lack of available water has made things really difficult for firefighters. It's pretty grim stuff, which is why these guys say it's important to be able to talk about it.
Has it been hard with the drought?
Yes.
How has it been hard?
There's not enough rain and
not enough water in the pipe.
And we need more water in the dams, and we need green grass.
Pretty tough at the moment. There's not much water anywhere now, and there's no feed. It costs a lot of money to buy fodder food in.
And what about, do you have enough water during the day and stuff?
No.
The AWG 5000 is the world's most advanced atmospheric water generator manufactured in the world. The complete system for providing all of your drinking water needs comes in a 20-foot ISO container. The unit can be transported by a wide range of methods to include military airlift. When the unit is attached to its own chassis, it can be rapidly deployed and placed into operation to provide emergency drinking water needs.
The new Aquare 5000 can produce up to 8,400 litres of pure water a day. RAYAGWA has managed to integrate it into a 20-foot container, compact with all the elements necessary for its proper performance in a very reduced area that is easy to access and easy to use. Aquare 5000 includes its own diesel generator, so the system has enough power to work for up to 4 days. It is also prepared to work with any type of energy, including renewable.
When was the last time it rained in your place?
Last year.
Last year. So how do you even drink water, or how do you use water?
So we have to buy cartons of water.
And that's the only way you get drinking water?
That's the only way we can drink water.
What about showers and things?
So the bore water for the shower, it's a bit different. It's clean enough to shower in. You can't drink out of it.
No, that's right.
Eliminating long supply lines for basic pure drinking water. Just open the doors and everything is designed for the user to effectively place the system into operation. The innovative design of the sliding platform allows for ease of use and rapid deployment.
Immediate startup is another advantage. All you have to do is press the power button. Maintenance is simple and requires no specialized technical assistance. In addition, spare parts are guaranteed to be supplied anywhere in the world because all the components are standardized.
Do you worry about the future?
Sometimes.
And what worries you the most?
Or getting too dry and there'll be like no livestock and there'll be like absolutely nothing because of feed.
The unit's support system is constructed of high-grade stainless steel for durability in a wide range of climates. The installation process is simple and user-friendly. Placing the unit into operation is designed with the user in mind for simplicity and ease of use.
The Aquare 5000 has a storage tank of drinkable water that always ensures a minimum reserve of 3,000 litres. It includes a personalised water treatment system adapted to the health regulations of the area where it will be installed.
One button to start the system. You are now producing pure drinking water from the most abundant source of water on the Earth, the atmosphere.
What do you do?
Can't just hope for rain at the moment.
And pray?
Yeah.
Every prayer you do, please pray for rain.
That's beautifully said, sweetheart.
The AWG 5000 can be powered by either the grid or its own internal diesel generator that can operate for 5 days without interruption. The unit is comprised of 3 modules: water production, water treatment, and power production. Water is present on the Earth in 3 forms: a liquid, a solid, and a gas. AWG technology has developed this revolutionary water generating system that allows us to remove industrial quantities of the purest drinking water from the air that we breathe. In optimal conditions, the AWG 5000 can produce over 1,000 gallons of pure water every day with a very low power consumption. AWG technology is focused on the future of providing pure drinking water wherever it is required with the most technologically advanced water generators produced in the world.
Water, the source of life. It takes on many forms, and when the conditions are right, it pours down from the clouds, surrounds us, making life beautiful, making life possible. This vital resource may seem abundant, but it's not limitless. Despite today's technology, our water footprint continues to grow. The average American family of 4 uses 400 gallons of water a day. We still rely on rain and snow to give us the water we need to live our lives. Wouldn't it be better if we could reach up and harvest it for ourselves? Introducing Aquarius, an atmospheric water generator that pulls moisture out of the most readily available resource, the air around us, and creates potable water. Everything you need is contained within the unit. Simply plug it in, turn it on, and it begins a 3-cycle process.
WaterGen's patented technology taps into our planet's most abundant source of water, the air, and transforms it into a rich and renewable source of fresh drinking water. Air is drawn into the WaterGen atmospheric water generator. The air filter removes dust and dirt. Clean air is then directed through WaterGen's innovative Genius technology and undergoes a heat exchange and cooling process. This brings the air to its dew point, the temperature where condensation occurs and water is created.
First, ambient air is purified for particulate matter. Then it condenses water and collects it into the 9-liter tank. Finally, with a patented purification technology, the water is treated for chemicals, heavy metals, and other contaminants. Reverse osmosis and UV sterilization create water of the highest quality. Clean, pure, natural. It only costs about 4 cents of electricity to create a bottle of water, or about 60 cents to fill a water tank. The built-in water dispenser allows you to enjoy it instantly, hot or cold, and once at capacity, the machine uses UV light to disinfect water every other hour, so you can be assured to have high-quality water available throughout the day.
WaterGen's atmospheric water generators produce from 600 to 5,000 liters of water per day. WaterGen is the solution. Water is now a renewable resource which can be created and continuously generated whenever and wherever it is needed. The water then gets channeled through a multi-stage cascade of filters. The water is now ready for drinking and is stored in a built-in reservoir where it is continuously circulated to keep it fresh. Low in energy consumption, Genius generates 5 times more water per kilowatt hour than any other technology on the market and can be operated by generators or solar panels.
Happy to set up shop in America. They just opened a plant in Columbia, South Carolina. Meet WaterGen, one of the most magical innovations of the 21st century. It literally creates water out of thin air. Their patented technology here on set with us. WaterGen USA President Yehuda Kaplan joins us in a Fox Business exclusive. Okay, Yehuda, before I take a sip of the water from this creation by WaterGen, I have to ask you, what was behind the decision for an Israeli company to open up shop in South Carolina?
You know, as a company, we have a policy. We like working with allies, and we know that Americans like having products that are made in America. And as the president said, and he's been a true friend of Israel, we have had the ability to create jobs using patented technology. And as a result, we want to employ people where we're hiring people.
How many people are you hiring?
We expect to have at full production about 400 employees, and that's only for a couple of plants. We plan on opening 3 or 4 plants in the United States over the next 2 years.
Whoa, that's breaking news. 3 or 4 plants. Okay, tell us how this works.
When we do harvest in the morning, it's as easy as pulling this entire board out of the water and carefully bringing it to our food preparation area, where we'll ultimately take each one of these heads of lettuce off of this board by pulling them out, exposing just a few of the bad leaves that might be there. When we put these roots around this, it gives a shelf life of close to 3 weeks in your refrigerator.
So how does this whole process work? Basically, the first step is to put whatever seeds you want into the coconut core.
This grow medium here is cocoa core. It's actually a certified organic grow medium, and it's a byproduct of coconut husk. And you put your seeds in there, and then once they're 1 to 2 inches tall like this, I mean, we can come over here and just plant these right in here. They fit right in the pod. You throw it in. The pump turns on every 3 to 15 minutes, depending on the program. Pumps the water and the nutrient solution all the way up to the top, and then just using the law of physics.
Yeah.
What goes up comes down, right?
Yeah.
What this technology does is it allows you to filter air. It is much easier to clean air than to clean water. We take the air, the humidity that's in the air, we filter the air, we then bring the air to chill it to a dew point, create water, and then run it through a filtering process, again, a patented process, which allows you to get clean, pure drinking water.
Okay, so if it were to be this machine in a heavily polluted city like, I'm thinking, Beijing, it could take that horrific quality air, sifted out all the bad elements that's within it and then create drinking water that's safe?
It would create clean, pure drinking water, and all it would require, if it's a dirtier air and quality, is to change the filter perhaps more frequently.
How much does this cost?
This unit is going to be priced approximately between $1,300 and $1,500 as we finish we're going to roll out this unit for sale in the American public in March or April.
Now, when we remove the boards, we leave a gap up in the front. And then that allows us to push all the boards towards us here, our harvest area, and stack new boards in the back utilizing our germination cubes. So we'll pack it in these trays that we call our transfer trays, ultimately packing one variety in each one of these trays, giving us the ability to pack all 7 varieties with a couple of these and keep them in our cooler to crisp up. Then it's time to pack our lettuce and make our mixed cases.
Thinking about water problems in Africa where it's too dry, or water problems in Flint, Michigan, where there was lead in the water, could you solve problems like lead in the water?
Yes, we absolutely. In fact, we do it much more cost effective than most other companies or most products. If you're trucking water every day, then you're going to bring that water day in, day out. If every home in Flint would get one of our units, it would probably have saved the government $100 million.
And save children's health.
It would save the health of the children, and each home could have been equipped with this, because it's okay to use bad water or unclean water for your bathtubs, showering, flushing toilets. But what you put in your water and what you cook with is essential to your health.
Okay.
And it just rains down, there's a shower cap, rains down and hits all these spots.
So something I find interesting is that you only need that amount of soil.
Right.
Like you envision just miles and miles of dirt and soil to grow plants,
Right.
but you only need that amount?
Right. Yep, that's
or
all
does
you
it
need.
vary for every different plant that you're growing?
Nope, just that small amount. It's actually not even soil, it's coconut husk. If we use soil, we'd have a lot more bugs. We'd have to use pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. I choose not to use any of those here. Organic is what? As
Just
clean
food.
as, yep, just food.
Yeah.
Do you think that's really happening today?
Well, by the way you just said that now.
You've been making this water here at the Fox Business Studios. Let's try it. I'm ready to try the water that was squeezed, folks, out of the air here in the studio. Now, what happens if there's no humidity in the air where these are operating?
So you need to have a basic humidity of about over 30%. However, you're not going to be comfortable living in an area that has humidity below that.
Got it.
So for about 75% of the country and the world, we work efficiently.
I'm ready to sip this water that was literally squeezed out of the air. Perfect. And it's cool. I like that. This is a fascinating, fascinating development. And
They looked at us and said, you know, you two are young folk. You should really go home and check out this new way of farming called aquaponics. That night we went home, Googled aquaponics. The next day when we came out here, we looked at each other and we said, this is our goal. This is going to be what we're going to try and establish in this market. So now it's really time to get into the aquaponics side and what makes us different than most traditional growers out there. The basic definition of aquaponics is the combination between aquaculture, raising fish or freshwater fish in a controlled environment, and hydroponics, which is growing plants in a soilless environment. So we utilize both ecosystems working together to simultaneously create the nutrients and ultimately remove the nutrients in the form of uptaking and growing their beautiful leafy green leaves.
My name's Brad Mogridge. I'm a Kamilaroi man. I'm a university-trained scientist, environmental science, and also groundwater, which is hydrogeology. What I'm trying to do now is make a difference and make sure that Aboriginal people have a say in water.
I was born on the banks of the Mainaroo River in Arnhem Land, and that's where my ashes will go when I die too, in that same place, so the water's very special.
Water for Aboriginal people is crucial for obviously survival, but identity and part of language and law.
When I got a ceremony with senior elder men, we're talking about water, we talk about the sun, we talk about grass, we talk about all sorts of things. And that senior elder men say, all these things need water.
We pull one out here, it's like a beautiful bouquet. Let's get one out of here so you can see. I mean, the roots, I mean, you got these beautiful roots
Now
on there.
I know what my bouquet is going to be for my wedding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so soft.
Yeah, isn't that something? Why don't you try a piece of that?
Vegetables have a much more vibrant and bolder and fuller flavor than I think most of us have experienced.
I feel like it tastes different than what I'm used to. Like, I feel like most romaine lettuce tastes so watered down.
Yeah. When summer's over, this is even better.
Sweeter? I don't feel like I've ever tasted romaine that was this sweet.
It's stronger, it's more unique from vegetable to vegetable because you're not getting that dirt flavor. A lot of that comes from growing the fruit or vegetable in this coconut husk and feeding it with these nutrient substances without any soil.
It's amazing. I don't know how, I haven't eaten vegetables this fresh before, and I feel like everyone needs to, like, I'd buy expensive freaking spinach at the store, all organic, everything. I whole paycheck at Whole Foods, it happens, but it doesn't taste like this.
A real engine to our motor. They create that nutrient in its raw form called ammonia. And they create that by excreting a waste product after we feed them every day 2 to 3 times. Our next filtration are biofilters. These are a simple baffle system that separates out the solids from the liquid ammonia or broken apart ammonia. So after it removes its 50%, that other 50% of that waste heads down to our second filter we like to call our living filter. So that the water passing below this walkway into our grow beds is clean of any solid debris and just really rich in ammonia, which the plants can ultimately take up in the form of that nitrate and remove it from the system before that water flows directly back to the lowest point in our system where we equipped a pump sending it 8 feet directly above so that we can have fresh water going directly to those fish tanks, creating a closed loop recirculatory aquaculture system by the scientific definition.
Vegetables typically that are transported into your state by law, even if they're organic, are sprayed with pesticides. So that's not ideal.
The problem is our soils are depleted. The FDA has lots of studies showing that when those leafy greens are cut and travel, on average, 1,200 to 1,500 miles to get to your plate.
They come across pesticides.
Yeah, pesticides, or they're 50% less nutrients. They've lost up to 50%. In some cases, there's hardly any nutritional value. Here, look at some of this basil. Let's grab a beautiful basil plant. Pull this out. Look at those beautiful roots on there.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look at that.
That's insane.
This is 21 days old.
Good.
Yeah.
The vegetables that we saw at True Garden were just growing right there. There was no soil. There was minimal water. It was really just their roots hanging in these hollow tubes, being saturated in nutrient-dense substances and growing to be the most beautiful vegetables.
When you look at water management, Aboriginal people don't have a share. Aboriginal people have to buy water, which was theirs at one point in time, you know.
We don't feel that we really have a say in the allocation of that most precious resource. It is normally a government authority that has the ability to control water, and that really causes us concern.
We have to tell people about those things that are sacred and special and significant to us so that human beings can still coexist. So the water that created us is the water that sustains us and will be there in the future.